Hey there! You're listening to College Radio, WUMM 91.1 FM Machias. One bad little radio station.
Raise my glass, tip my hat, California.
You're now listening to WUMM 91.1 FM Machias, and welcome to the Engaged Clipper chat room, UMM's career talk show featuring alumni, employers, career professionals, and today, current undergraduate students from around the region, state of Maine, and country. My name is Joellen Scribner, and I'll be your host for today's program. Unfortunately, Athena Health is scheduled, was not able to join us today, but they will join us next semester in February. However, today we do have a special guest joining us that will be interviewing me as well as me interviewing her. And that's Alondra Candelario, who is a senior this year and will be graduating in May. And also, Alondra works for me as my student manager in the Career Center and is actually the Career and Alumni Relations Center here on campus. So welcome today, Alondra.
Hi, thank you for having me here today. I feel really honored.
So I'm really excited about doing this because whenever we can, get our current students involved in this type of activity, we love it. And of course, Alondra's worked with me in an internship all semester, and she's just done a wonderful job and has really built some wonderful professional skills and really has kind of taught me a lot as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your experiences, Alondra?
So I learned about this internship last semester, and it was during my junior year. And now that I'm a senior, I really took the role in this internship, and I've learned a lot. I've learned on how to really market the career services, so creating flyers or going on social media and updating those things, also creating brochures so parents and students can look at it and just have an easier way on learning about the career services that we have here on campus.
Which is really great, and people don't realize what actually goes into sometimes a job like that. So having the skills that you've developed over time to bring into the Career Center has been extremely important to myself and to the actual office itself, to be able to do those things in social media, whether it's Twitter or it's on Facebook or the website or whatever we're doing, currently trying to reach out to our students. So I really appreciate the fact that you've brought those skills into the center and that you've also continued to expand upon them.
Yeah, and I've also done more behind the scenes type of things where we don't usually show what I do sometimes. I've gone in and organized the office, helped you prep for events that we have, when our alumni come in for homecoming, just things like that I have to pick up and do on the fly and just learn along the way, which is it's the way it's just how the world works. So It's preparing me in order to do that.
So also the fact that, as a student here on campus, let's talk a little bit about your major and how that has helped prepare you to take on more of a professional role on campus.
Yeah, so I'm an English major here at UMM. This is my senior year, and I have a concentration in creative writing, and I'm also getting an HR certificate. It's a really long title, but I'm doing all of that, and I'm doing administrative work right now in order to learn about how an office would work and just the environment that I would have.
And also the piece of that's very important is that when you're looking at marketing, even though that's more of a business area, you really need to have those writing skills that are important.
Yes.
To an office like mine, because you want to have things that are done, and edited well, and that have good grammar, and those things all become very applicable out there in the business world. So I'm really thankful that you decided to choose me to do your internship this semester, because it's definitely been an advantage for me.
Yeah, I didn't go into the career services office until my junior year, and I regret that because I feel like I would have gotten more internships over the years if I had actually come in sooner. I think that's one of my biggest regrets in my academic career, just because I missed out on some opportunities that I didn't know about and wasn't really exposed to, especially being a first generation student. I didn't know what I was doing, and sometimes I still don't know what I'm doing, but with your office, it's really guided me into having a successful career here. And it's also led me to jobs that I'm currently looking at right now.
And what a great reference.
Yeah.
To be able to use, because you're in a professional office and they'll really look at that. I mean, we have had students in past that have gone on to internships and looked into actually big business internships outside the state of Maine. One in particularly, and I get this every year from them, is through the Boston Red Sox. Now they're talking about internships with them, but they have a huge event down there that brings in all these corporate and these big businesses into the actual Fenway Park. And it does cost for students to go to it, but I sent a couple of students a few years ago to it, and they came back and said, I can't believe that I didn't do internships sooner, because I'm kind of not marketing myself well enough to compete in that arena. And if you really want to be in a competitive place where, you can compete with other people out there professionally, you've got to think about those the things that are happening outside the classroom as well as in.
Yeah, like I know that Delaney Garner, she was an English major. She was in a bunch of my classes, and she's currently working for the Red Sox.
Right. Well, actually, what she's doing is she took over the photography. It's an outside vendor that works within Fenway Park, and I'm hoping that actually she'll be on next semester to talk to us a little bit about that. But she went from to being a photographer to now as the supervisor of the agency. So she really has, proceeded and progressed up the ranks really fast down there. So a lot of her Facebook things that she's putting out there is, here I am at the green wall, here I am at the plate, and I'm hitting balls and things like that. So she was actually one of the ones that did go down there and came back and went, wow, I can't believe the thousands of students that we're out there competing against. So it's really very important that students take the opportunity, like yourself, to get involved in those internships.
Yeah, I found out about your office through one of my friends that used to work for you, Emily. Yeah. Emily, I would stop in by the office and just talk to either you or Emily about what I should be doing and how I should be furthering my academic career. I started my resume with you last year, and we've just built upon it, like with all the new things that I'm getting. Like I got an honors last year, so that was great to put on my resume, and you helping me like polish it and create a LinkedIn and just giving me new experiences was great.
I think that what, people have a misconception that I'm just going to do a resume when I get ready to go out for a job and I'll just figure out what to put on it. But employers, you've got to grab their attention within about 30 seconds that they start that resume. And professionals out there that are actually doing a lot of interviews with individuals going into different businesses and things will say, if you don't get my attention within 30 seconds, then you're going to go to pile number 2. And that's where the competitiveness comes in, and that's why really building our skills becomes huge. And I'm glad that you've acknowledged you kind of waited till your junior year, because you were probably in that mindset. And that was, with Delaney and actually another student, that was the mindset. Here I am, a senior. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get down and see what I can do professionally down there. And it really was a great surprise to them. So now we're trying to encourage our students right now by doing this show that, now is the time to get busy, to get involved with career, the career office on campus, and take advantage of all those things that we wouldn't normally think about until later.
Yeah. Even just like small things, like, do you have a professional email? Like, I still have my email that I used from when I was 12 years old, and that is definitely not professional.
Exactly.
So just like creating new accounts like that, and just really being able to market yourself towards employers.
And the other thing too, when you mention that professionalism with the actual email addresses, and I tell students this all the time, watch what you're doing out there online with on your profiles, on your Facebook pages and things like that, because employers will nowadays go out and see what's happening when you apply for jobs. So that becomes very important before you go apply, to really be paying attention on what you're posting on those social media sites.
Yeah, just go through your Facebook or your Twitter or Instagram, clean it up a little bit, make it private.
Exactly. That will make a big difference in the job search. Absolutely. Yeah. So what kind of questions do you have for me today?
So these are going to be general questions.
Sure.
Because I know some students would want to know this information.
Absolutely.
I know I did before I had this internship. So let's see. So what does the Career Center like do, and who does it support?
Well, I think that there's kind of a misconception about it. I know that people are saying, yes, we get a lot of emails from Joellen, which you're actually not getting anymore, because in order to find out what's happening with career services and things out there that are, services for you as resources, you'll need to go to our website at machias.edu/career services/career center. That's going to take you right to our page on the website, and that's where you're going to find all the things that I was posting out there, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the show, but that's where you'll find job opportunities and what current events are happening, as well as other things that we're posting around campus. But basically, the Career Center is about exactly what we've been talking about. It's about getting you prepared to become a professional after you graduate. You are in a baccalaureate institution, you have classes that you have to take, and there's learning obviously that has to happen in there because of the academic skills that you need to develop. But you also need to think about the skills outside the classroom, whether it be, volunteering skills, or maybe you're going to be an athlete. I mean, you're building skills in other ways, and that's important to note. So the Career Center is there to help you identify what are your interests and how those interests will apply to you in your future job. I mean, I tell students all the time, you're going to spend a lot of time in your job. I wake at 5 a.m. every morning getting ready to come to my job that I start from 8 to 5. If I don't love what I do, that's 12 hours or more away from my family every day. So you really want to be in a place that you're not only that you enjoy your job, but you're interested in. So the Career Center helps students identify what their interests are, what career opportunities are out there, how to build those soft skills, and what programs, all the things that we offer on campus, for our students. And not only do we support our undergraduates, but we also support our alumni as well. So, and that will happen for all our current students too when they become alumni. And because I'm part of the Alumni Association, being an alumni myself, we support people that, if they have not graduated from UMM yet, you're still considered an alumni, if you've come to the institution. So, and we help people get back engaged in with the campus and help them get involved in, finishing off their programs and their degrees. So that's kind of just a quick snapshot of what the Career Center can do, for undergraduate students as well as our alumni.
All right. So where can we find all this information, like job postings, internships?
So you really got to go to the website, or you've got to contact me. So at the website, it's machias.edu. It's pretty simple. You go under academic majors and take the drop-down menu and go to the Career Center, and it brings you up to the page. Or you can just go to machias.edu/career services/career center, which will take you to the same place. And there are a lot of resources out there. There are resources out there about current events. The radio show links are going on soon for the past shows that we've had. We have the Engage Clipper program, which we'll talk about a little bit later if we have time. We also have resources out there for students that are interested in graduate school and how do they apply, and, what about all the, graduate pre-admission tests you have to take, and we have all those resources out there. And we have current resources for resume writing and how to write a cover letter, and networking and career exploration, all those things. I mean, there's an abundance of resources out there available to students at machias.edu.
Do you also post these opportunities on your social media sites?
Yes, we try to keep up with it on our career services. So it's career services UMaine Machias is where you would find that. We also post out to our alumni on those sites as well.
All right, and where are you located on campus?
So we are currently located in Powers Hall on the second floor in room 202, which is right across from the Student Affairs Suite.
All right.
Right beside Gene Nichols' music room.
Okay, so I know that students should get involved with you, and I maybe should have gotten involved with career services earlier on. So what timeline would you offer for year-by-year students that come
career professionals everywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's here at UMaine Machias, or it's another one of our system schools, or if it's just another university anywhere. There's always a timeline that people talk about that's really important for students to get involved with. They're like, for instance, with freshmen, or what they would call first year now, they're talking about things like really thinking about reasons why you are attending college. I know sometimes that's hard. When people come in as freshmen, they're not always thinking thinking about what's going to happen in 4 years. So I know that that's difficult, but if you can focus a little bit on it, it really makes sense. And just, maybe working with the Career Services Office to, write down a career plan and what will be happening hopefully for you in 4 years. But also, maybe trying different courses from different concentrations just to see if it's something to make sure that you're doing what you really think you might want to do. Oftentimes people might change their majors along the way. Mm-hmm. We can do interest and career inventories, and we can talk about how important volunteering is to your resume, and we can talk about internships that you should be looking at in the next few years, and how important it is to join an organization on campus and what that means for professionally for you as you get ready for your career. Attending a job fair, and that will be coming up. We'll have one on campus and one will be going off campus for, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And just getting familiar with what happens on campus for first year students to get them ready, to start talking about their career. So I know it's difficult when you come in, you're not thinking in those terms, but it's really important to your resume building that you start thinking of that as soon as possible. We're looking at second year, or what they used to call sophomores, but what are your career goals? Are you in the right major? Is that the place you want to be? Coming into maybe some of the career cafes. Now I'm calling them career cafes because I'm really doing them online as well as through Zoom, as well as live, so that students can have the benefit from, if they're not available to come right in, they can access it through online. So that's important. Also, talking about internships and summer jobs, that's a good time to come in, and we have all kinds of resources in there to talk about what might be available to you for summer, and talking about leadership roles on campus. Whether you're an athlete or you're in a club or an organization, you start as a freshman, you get involved, then you start going up, and all of a sudden you're the vice president of the outing club. That's important to your resume. And then as juniors, you really need to start really getting serious about those career goals and where you want to go. You need to talk about potentially maybe getting involved with doing some interviewing of different people in the professional career that you might be interested in. That's something that we call informational interviews, and we set those up all the time. Or maybe we're job shadowing with professionals. That's important too. And definitely getting involved with the career fairs, because professionals are out there just waiting to get engaged with people that are really committed to their careers and where they want to go. And then during the senior year, that's kind of like the big one. So now we're down to the last. And it's unfortunate because a lot of times seniors don't come to me until the last month before they graduate, and they say, I need a resume. And what people don't understand is the resume is a document that is built of skills over time. It's not just something that we can come out with that we've just done in the last month. We really have to have had those experiences in past. That's why it's so important. So, we need to start job searching if you're going to go out and you're actually going to start working, or maybe it's graduate school. You want to get involved in graduate school, we can help you with that. Contacting, maybe working with faculty or previous employers. We've got to get references ready to go. That becomes, and I want to mention that on references, because what you do right now in your classes will help you with references in the future, because oftentimes your faculty will become your reference. So showing up to class on time, getting your homework done, attending class, being involved in class discussions, those things that are important to your class outcomes will be something that your professor will be able to write about you in the future, and that becomes very huge. There are also, we're going to have to do cover letters, for the jobs you're applying for. And there's also the networking events. And we need to make sure that you fulfilled all the requirements for graduation, and who are the potential employers. And so it's all the things that kind of like bringing the last 4 years all together to get ready to go between what you've built in your resume and what's going to be happening in that job search that will make you the most successful.
I know through all of that, really focusing on what you want to do as a student in your career after undergrad school. I know that I started off as an education major here, mm-hmm. and I switched to an English degree because I felt like I was more interested in English than I was in education, even though I really loved education and all of the courses that I took. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like it wasn't something long term for me. So I think that's something crucial that students can feel conflicted by, that you have these two passions and you don't know what to choose between them, and then seeing the pros and cons that they both have.
And I think the other thing too is that a lot of students and individuals don't realize all of the things that they can do with a degree. What is it you can do with that degree? What, besides what your interest is, what is available out there that might help you with what you're skilled in, through the course program that you've decided on.
Yeah, and I think it's also from the things that you listed already, is that networking is a huge component, not only with like professionals outside of your school, but your staff and faculty on campus as well. Just like talking to your professors after class and being like, hey, what can I do to like bump up my grade? Whether it's like extra credit opportunities, doing some job shadowing, or they can also provide you so much information on career as well, on your career.
Exactly.
outlooks.
And networking is probably the huge number one skill that's going to get you to where you need to be. And I know oftentimes people are shy and they don't think that that's something they want to get involved in, but that's how I got my job here at UMM years ago. I was working out to Hannaford as a cashier, and I just happened to be a social person that got along well with people, and I was very nice to people coming through my line. And the president of this institution would come to my line to let me check him out, and I didn't know who he was, but when I applied up here, he decided he wanted to hire me, and there was actually another person before me that was chosen for the job, and he said no, he wanted me, and I didn't know who he was. So that's just kind of an example of, I had my career opportunity through a way that I didn't even realize that all the time you are always networking. Putting on that professional face is really huge at all times, because you just never know
That's
where
true.
it's going to lead.
That's true. For networking as well, like the career fairs, do you have any planned for the spring?
So with career fairs, we actually have two. One is with the University of Maine, and that is something that we try to go to every year if the weather permits. And you'll see a notice come out on the website, and you'll see some flyers and things around that you have to reserve a spot in the van early so that we know who wants to go up. That there are hundreds of employers up there looking to hire people for summer jobs, for internships, for full-time jobs. And even if you're not getting ready to graduate right away, if you're 2 years out from that, it's a great event to go up and start getting your feet wet, so to speak. And so we always encourage students to get involved and go to that event. And so that will happen on Wednesday, February 5th. The week before that, which I think is the 28th of January, and you'll see the notice come out on the website, but we'll actually be doing a career prep to make sure everybody that is going has that resume ready, because what that career fair means is that you're going to have an opportunity to do an informal job interview right there on the spot. And students, believe it or not, have been hired right there and then with just a quick shot of that resume. And the employers love it. And so that's on February 5th. And then for us, we're going to have one on campus, and that will be coming up right now. The plan is on March 12th. We'll be having our own career fair here, and I'm hoping actually to do, during the time, it will be 10 to 1 on that day. Again, an opportunity for various opportunities to, meet employers that are coming in. But I'm also hoping to have some calling in and talking on the show about, we have a job down in Southern Maine at a camp this summer, and we're looking for people, or whatever it's going to be. Maybe it's Jackson Lab or something. They're calling and saying, we've got 14 openings right now. We're looking for people. So we'll do that as well. So there's a couple different career fairs coming up, one at UMaine and one here.
All right. So what other events are you going to have programmed for the spring?
So I have a lot of plans. I always try to keep things very busy. Of course, I'll have the Career Cafe, so that will be happening on various Wednesdays from 12 to 12:30. It's a short period of time. And we'll be talking about salary issues and how to negotiate. And believe it or not, in professional careers, sometimes you do have a little bit of wiggle room to be able to negotiate your salary, which is helpful. So we'll have some tips on that. We'll be talking about resume building. We'll be talking about researching and doing those things. So I have several dates of those planned on Wednesdays, and you'll be able to see those on our website when you get back from winter break. We also will continue with our Engage Clipper chat room, which will have new alumni and employers throughout the state of Maine and the country. So that will be fun and exciting. Those will continue to be on Thursdays at 4 o'clock is the plan right now. We'll also have a senior boot camp we're going to talk about a little bit more in a minute. That will be coming up for seniors. The graduate school will be back on campus to talk to students that are interested to go to graduate school. They're coming in from UMaine. Doesn't mean you need to apply to UMaine, but the graduate application process is oftentimes very similar. And so there are certain tips we'll be able to talk about with that. But the UMaine Graduate School will be here on Tuesday the 9th. And then we'll also be having our business etiquette dress show, and we're looking for models for that. And we have an opportunity out there where, the first 6 that contact us, we're going to take on a shopping spree to get an outfit, and they're going to get that outfit if they model it. And so that is a kind of a fun way of doing things. And we'll, and it'll be about, purchasing an outfit for an interview and what that would look like, and that's always fun. And then, during Greek weekend, usually on Friday evenings, we have a social networking event where undergrad students can come in and meet our alumni coming in for the weekend, and that's always a fun event to attend to. And there'll be other things that will come up that you'll see on the website as well.
All right, so with the business etiquette show, dress show, is there a limit that the students have?
So we're going to give each student $50 because it's all about getting an interview outfit on a budget. Mm-hmm. We work with Machias Savings Bank in partnership. They've actually donated the funds for the first 6. There may be more. Those that want to will also come into the career closet. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but we do have a career closet on campus that is free to students. If you want to come in and try to, we'd like to have models come in and actually model some of those outfits. If they fit you, you get them for free. So that is something that we're just trying to line up a whole bunch of models for. I say a whole bunch, but a good 10 or 15 would be great. So come on and contact us, right?
I also heard that there's going to be lunch provided for them.
Yes, and we will provide lunch for those that are there today. And for the students that are on campus, there'll be some other thing that we'll come up with, some gift or something that they'll get if they're on the meal plan, because that wouldn't be an advantage for them. But it would be that they would get their outfit that they've purchased.
All right. So they do get to keep their outfit, which is a really great incentive.
Whether it's purchased through the money that the first 6 get, or it's an outfit that they model from the career closet, they will get their outfit.
All right. And then they could use that for the career closet. You could use that for banquets, anything. Do you need a reference?
Well, you don't need a reference for the career closet, but you do, you can contact myself or Alondra, and we also have Ann Tran, who also is working with us too. You can contact one of those. Our student managers or myself, and say, I would like to see if there's an outfit. I need to go to an athletic banquet, or I need to go to, a job interview, or I have a special employer party that I've been involved in with an internship or anything like that. And those are donated, secondhand clothing from professionals in the local area. They've donated all of those in there, and we'll go over and make sure it fits you. And if you find something that fits, you get that. For students that go out and get a job and need to have more clothing to get started, if they get the job, they get the one that they've chosen from the career closet, and they can have 2 more if it fits. And those are free.
All right. So before we go to our break, I just wanted to know a little bit more about the Clipper Care Closet, which is different from the career closet.
Right. So the Clipper, the career closet is all about interview dress and, and that kind of social attire. And the Clipper Care Closet was something that was actually donated and started by our alumni association that wanted to help undergraduate students in need on campus. So in that area, we have personal items and we have some clothing items to help people that may not financially be able to afford it. And it's all new items. So maybe it's shampoo, or it's deodorant, or maybe it's a razor, or maybe it's socks or mittens or a hat, or it may be feminine products. It might be laundry products, any of those things that if you are in need, please talk to one of your professors and get a referral, or you can talk to Ann or Alondra or contact me, and we'll make sure that you get access to the Clipper Care Closet. And again, that's all supported by the Alumni Association, and that is free. There's no charge.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone for listening. This concludes the first portion of our program today. We'll be right back after a short break to talk with Joellen about upcoming senior events and more. Today you're listening to WUMM 91.1 FM Machias. We will be back shortly with the second half of our show.
Face the chords.
Today you are listening to 91.1 FM Machias on the Engage Clipper Chat Room Show. Thank you for listening today. So I'm Alondra Candelario, and I'm interviewing Jo Ellen Scribner, manager of the UMM Career Center here on campus. For questions, please call the chat room at 255-1371. All right.
So thank you again, Alondra, for doing this. I think this is a really great show.
So I know that you do events specifically for seniors. Can you tell us a little bit about them and see what's going to be happening?
We always try to include all of our students as much as possible, but at the end we get into, we really got to prepare our students for that final push to get ready to go out into the workforce. So we've already had an event, which there were several students that were involved in, and that is our senior etiquette dinner that took place in November. And I mentioned that even though it's past, because upcoming seniors next fall will definitely want to do that. It's a special evening of learning how to attend formalized dinners. And I know people say, I will never do that. So did I, but we do. And the skills are really important to you in your career. So I hope, and that's free to students. So that senior etiquette dinner will take place in the fall every year. And then also every spring we have the Senior Pampering Day, which I know our seniors talk a lot about each year. So the next seniors coming up are always excited about it. And that's all about pampering our seniors. And that will be the Wednesday before graduation. We have the masseuses on campus. We have, you know, the hairdressers and we get manicures and those type of things. So we just try to pamper our seniors a little bit to get them ready for graduation. And then the senior dinner, which is a little different than the etiquette dinner, is really just a night to honor our seniors, you know, and their families that come to campus. And that is always sponsored by our Alumni Association. And that will be the evening before graduation. And then we've got a new program this spring, well, actually this winter, that we're working on right now, and Alondra has been a huge part of this, and we're calling it the Senior Boot Camp. And the reason we're doing that is we're really trying to get our seniors involved in getting ready for not waiting to the last minute to get everything in line. So we will be doing that actually for 6 weeks, and it will be starting, I think, do you have the date on that, Alondra?
For the Senior Boot Camp?
Yeah, when we'll start that.
February 3rd.
Yeah, so on February 3rd, we'll be doing like 2 weeks on Mondays from 4 to 5 in the faculty dining room, it's called. It's the conference room right to the right as you walk into the into Sodexo, into the cafeteria at Kilburn Commons. And so it will take place from 4 to 5. You can bring your meal in if you'd like. That's usually why I have events over there, so students can eat at the same time. And so we'll be doing that on 2 Mondays in the row. That will be February 3rd. And do you have all those dates right there by chance?
I don't think I have them on.
But it will be February 3rd, and I'm just kind of taking a peek at that. And then the next week will be February 10th, and then there'll be a week break, and then we'll go for the next 2 weeks, and then we have our own spring break. So there'll be 6 total weeks, but we'll only go 2 weeks consecutively, take a break, 2 weeks consecutively, and take a break, and then 2 weeks consecutively. So we're really excited about that, and hoping that, actually I have them here, February 3rd and 10th, then we skip to the 24th, then March 2nd, then the 23rd and the 30th will be what that will be. So those will be for the Senior Boot Camp. Now, what's the advantage of that? We'll be talking about all the things that I've been trying to talk about in those 6 weeks. So you bring in your laptops. We'll get your resumes ready. We'll talk about job search strategies. We'll be out there searching for jobs for you. We'll be talking about interviewing and how you do interviewing, and we call it crushing the interview, so that will be important. We'll be talking about compensation, all of those things. And for all those seniors that go through that program, but you have to attend all 6 weeks, you'll be getting a green and white rope that you can wear with your gown at graduation, which is pretty much an honor for anybody that is going to participate in that program. So I'm hoping that anybody that's really interested, once we launch that in the spring, will register with us as soon as possible. But that is what we're calling the Senior Boot Camp.
Is there limited spacing for the Senior Boot Camp?
Not right now, no. So it just depends. And it's available for students online, through Zoom, or in person. So we'll do it both ways.
I know that for me as a senior, I've only been to the business etiquette dinner so far, and it was really fun. I had to host some of it, and
which I kind of put you on the spot on because I had a family emergency, and you did fantastic. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I did all of the setup, and I checked in with Gail about the meals. We had everything running. Rose also helped me. That was a big help.
So yeah, thank you for that, because it's just one of those things that, you know, because you've done so wonderful in this internship. And the other thing that is important is that, yeah, we do internships within our own offices here on campus, which is great experience. And because of that, you were prepared, even though probably you were a little nervous, but you were prepared to jump right in when I needed you and take right over. So I'm very thankful for that. And it was a great evening. I heard it went really well.
Oh, yeah. We were laughing the entire night. We also got to network with local professionals in the area. I was connected with someone at Machias Savings Bank, so that was really interesting.
It's really an important part of the program because it's really about networking, and it really oftentimes in those social situations, it helps us to kind of go out of our comfort zone, so to speak. So oftentimes people are shy, and we talk about, how to do the proper handshake. It's also a dressy attire. So what's the proper outfit? And then just giving you a little bit of exposure of those professionals that are out there in the field, and not to intimidate you, but to help you ease you into the process of what you can expect when you do get out in your professional careers. I mean, for any of us that are out there, if we're kind of going into the unknown. I mean, if I'm told that I need to go to a conference in Atlanta, I'm flying out of here by myself. I've got to go out and I've got to put myself out there when I get to Atlanta, to participate in this conference and get to meet new people. And so it's really all about developing those skills. And so there may be job opportunities that you apply for that you need to fly out to. And so you need to be ready to know, how does that all work and what's expected of you.
So when it comes to networking, how important are first impressions?
Well, huge, obviously huge. You want to be able to not only, people, and you can think about this from your own, your own way of the way you think. But, people are looking at, the way your body language is and what your facial expressions are. And, are you drinking and drinking too much at the table? And did you drop your napkin and step on her to blow your nose with it or whatever? I mean, things like that are really important to know what is the proper etiquette for that. And first impressions are, there's no second chances for a first impression. Once you've gone by the first impression, you've kind of blown it if you haven't been able to have used the skills that you should have been developing right along.
So what would you determine as the key aspects of having a great first impression?
The key aspects? Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, you have to think about your attire. I knew someone that had said to me once, the first thing I look at when somebody's coming through the door and they're interviewing for a job is their shoes. Now, is that the first thing you think about, right? Because they say, I can tell a lot by a person's shoes. Mm-hmm. Are they scuffed up? Are they dirty? Do they not fit properly? They say that shoes really is the first impression for them because it really tells them what if they are articulate, if they are detailed oriented. I mean, did you iron your tie or is it crinkled? Mm-hmm. Did you iron your suit or your dress or are you all wrinkled up? Do you have all kinds of piercings? And I don't want to say that's negatively. I love piercings, but it may not be appropriate to wear all kinds of piercings. Or, you might want to check on the website because, a lot of us have tattoos. Do we need to cover the tattoos? Those things are important to know because as part of that first impression, people will be paying attention to those things. So how your outfit looks, what your body language and facial expressions are saying. Do you have good eye contact? Is your hair well groomed? What do your shoes look like? All of those things will count as your first impression.
I definitely do know about that. Mm-hmm. I have a personal story where I was around maybe 16 or 17 and I applied to work at Office Depot and I had to go in for an interview and I forgot to look into the mirror and my makeup. So I forgot to contour my nose. It was like on there and I just forgot to blend it out. And for a lot of you that might not know what that means, I just had like a makeup that was a little bit darker on my nose to define some features. And I forgot to like smooth out the edges so it looks a little bit more natural. Mm-hmm. And thank God that I still got the job, but it was one of those stories where it's just like you really have to pay attention to those things. Details
count. If you put I am a detailed oriented person on that resume, they're going to be looking for the details. Guaranteed. So that is why you need to make sure you check, recheck your outfit, your resume, your cover letter, have your faculty read it, have me read it over and over and over again to make sure that when you say you're detailed oriented, make sure you are.
Yeah.
It's huge. I can't say enough about it.
All right, so let's see. I've also heard some things about like the alumni spotlight, job shadowing, and the mentoring program. Can you explain some of those?
Yeah, and it's really hard when, a lot of people don't participate in events to be able to explain some of those things and really what that all means. But a few years ago, I started what they call the UMM Alumni Spotlight and Job Shadowing and Mentoring Program. And what that means is that our alumni were spotlighting their career successes, but also with the plan to be able to give you career advice. So if you go out to our website and you look to see, the spotlight out there, and you just, can just go to the search and put spotlight up there. We try to do one once a month, but sometimes we don't always get that done. But if you do go to the machias.edu website and type in spotlight, it will bring you up to all the spotlights. And it's important to know about their career successes too. And then they'll give, advice, like I said, on the sheet, and there'll be a picture of who they are and what they look like. And then through the job shadowing program, they oftentimes will offer students an opportunity to come to their work and shadow alongside them. Like, for instance, I've had many students come up and want to do a drive along with a warden. And so we've arranged that. Or maybe they might want to go and follow the president around for the day at Machias Savings Bank. So we've, arranged that. Or maybe it's a teacher, or maybe it's at the hospital. Or so job shadowing is all about our alumni opening the doors and inviting you to come watch them. See how they operate, ask questions, huge. And then the mentoring program is just really, do you want to connect with one of those alumni to hopefully maybe get a foot in the door in the future? And that's also networking. So they will mentor, which means they'll give you career advice every step of the way if that's what needs to happen in order to get you to where you want to be professionally in the future as well.
All right. And how exactly would students go about this?
Well, I think that's what's important is I've offered this a lot, and not many students have really jumped into doing it unless they personally have met the student. I think they're intimidated maybe a little bit by it, but it's as simple as just contacting me and saying, go out to the website and look at, alumni spotlights and see what comes up and go down through that. We've got spotlights from people from various walks of life, whether it's, for the majors in the sciences or the pre-professional, or maybe it's a teacher, or it's a rec major, or it's, a creative writing major, or someone from the fine arts or interdisciplinary arts areas. And they're all just sitting there waiting for somebody to... They like talking about their career successes. They're proud. The alumni that are coming in doing this program are proud of what they've done, and they want to be able to share that with people. But you have to be willing to step forward and say, Joellen, can you help me connect with somebody? And that's what I'm here for, is to help you, or to ease it for you, to ease you into it so that you don't have to break the ice yourself. I'm here to help you make those connections, which makes it a lot easier. And oftentimes, not everybody gets those close connections to be able to do those things. And I know a lot of those alumni out there. We've had... we just recently this semester talked to Christoph Kovacs. He works for IBM. He was a varsity basketball player for us here. He's into international students. He came in. He was a business major. He goes out. His staff meetings take place in Brazil. He's making upwards to $1 million a year. He's now in a graduate program at MIT. He wants to help you learn how his career successes can help you. We also have had, Cheyenne Robinson, just lately, she works for the Domestic Violence Project. She's there. We've got teachers, and we've got, the National Park Service, and we had to cancel that show, but I'm really excited they'll be back on next semester now that we've got things up and running. But I've got Therese Picard going to be talking with us from Acadia National Park about how, people can apply and get jobs down there, and what are these employers looking for in candidates? What are they expecting? And then we'll also talk to Ed Pomprion from there, who graduated from UMM, and people on the Bering Sea right now that are out there working in the fisheries out in Alaska. We'll be talking with some of those individuals as well. And also, people that are, right close to us, and everyday jobs right here at home. So, at the banks. And I mean, Machias Savings Bank is the main hub for the state of Maine is here in Machias. So that's why that big building's going up downtown, and they just continue to expand. Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, another huge bank, and the Bangor Savings Bank, and Camden National Bank. All of them are just really doing great things, and would be, you don't have to be a business major to go into a bank and job shadow. A lot of times people are just, I send students to do their mock interviews no matter what their background is, a lot of times down to Machias Savings Bank. Because she will tell you, you got 20 seconds to get my attention. How are you going to do that? That's great career advice. You want to be able to hear from a professional besides Joellen on what's going to get their attention. That's a huge thing. So it's really important to take the advantage of that alumni spotlight job shadowing and mentoring program seriously. And if you're really interested, contact me over to the office in Powers, or you can email me at jscribner@maine.edu, or you can call it 255-1228 as well. And I know you're probably all writing that down right now, right?
So I know you're in constant contact with alumni, as you just stated, but what's the common piece of advice that they give to students? I
think get involved. Mm-hmm. That is the huge common piece of advice. Get involved and don't wait. And I know that I'm kind of tooting my own horn here, but get involved in career services, because that is what is going to help you to get to a higher level than trying to always go out there on your own. I mean, we have an alumni that is the event manager for the Patriots. He was the first one that said, get involved with career services. I mean, he had 1,000-person staff. He worked for the Patriots. He graduated in 2011. 2011 is 8 years ago, people. That's not long. When you're 21, 22 years old, you're talking 30 years old, running the events for the Patriots. We're talking about securing the Super Bowl trophy, escorting Tom Brady's wife to her seat. We're talking about all those things. We've got an assistant athletic director from Texas A&M. We've got people, like I said, with Christoph working for IBM. We've got people working in dolphin therapy on the Barren Sea. I mean, all of them are saying, get involved on campus. Don't be idle. Step out of your comfort zone and get involved so that you can actually take it to the next level.
So why do you think it's so scary for students to step out of that comfort zone?
I think it's just the shyness of the unknown. Mm-hmm. Getting to meet new people often is not easy. And so because of that, that's why we do the networking opportunities that we do, so that we can help you be able to get over that hurdle, so you're not out there by yourself trying to make those connections. And that's what's huge. And like I said, alumni love talking about their successes and wanting to help. That's why they started the Clipper Care Project. That's why they do the senior dinner. These are all things that they're very excited about supporting. Yeah. So, I mean, there's all good stuff. And I know it is difficult. And I can remember when I was in college, too, that it wasn't always easy for me. And I know there are non-traditional students that may be listening as well, and I hope they are. It doesn't matter what age you are. Taking that first leap is not always easy. Yeah. And so whatever your age is, it's for everybody. And so it doesn't matter if you're a traditional student or a non-traditional student. We definitely want you to get engaged in career services and online as well. I mean, that's important. We have a lot of online students, and that's why we offer our programs through Zoom, so that they can, no matter if they're in Michigan or they're in Machias in their dorm rooms, that they're able to jump in and still get the same information. And that's what is important. And so again, go into the machias.edu site, seeing what the resources are, getting involved with whatever is happening on campus, but you have to take that initiative yourself. And so we really are pushing people toward the website, because you're not going to get all those emails anymore. You'll see an email come out the first of next semester from me. It will be one email that talks about what the events are for the semester and what's coming up, and there may be an extra one going out to seniors just because of the special events. But you've got to be able to be proactive. We used to be able to post out jobs For students, we don't do that anymore. So now the jobs for students are listed what we have on the website. And oftentimes we get those last minute jobs that the deadline is quick. And if you're not ready to apply for that, you're going to miss out. And I'm not going to be able to announce that to you. So you need to be out on that website looking to make sure that you don't miss out on those opportunities. Those seniors that are graduating in December, there's no time like the present to, call me as soon as possible and get an appointment before you leave, or even after you've gone if you want to connect. Because I'm always looking. Once you're on my radar, I'm always watching to see what's out there and what's coming in. The career links on the main page of our website at machias.edu. Again, go to the academic majors and the drop down to the career center, and you'll see right there that right on the front page is the career links. That career links, you need a resume basically to upload. It's like LinkedIn. And so that is the University of Maine's employer database. So if you join that, which costs you nothing other than getting your resume ready to go, employers are out there looking at your resume. And when there's a job they think's right for you, they're contacting you saying, are you interested? And it's as simple as creating a profile, and it's free as long as you're a student. And so not only do you have from our own little database with our, the main part of our webpage, but you also have access to hundreds of employers that the UMaine 10,000 students have access to. Not everybody has that. And so that is huge, and that is free to students, and it doesn't, like I said, doesn't cost anything. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting that profile done, and we'll probably talk about that in the senior boot camp. But once you become an alumni at UMaine, you have to pay oftentimes for alumni services. At UMM, you do not pay for alumni services. So we want to make sure that all of those individuals that are graduating are connected as much as they want to be connected.
So I know that with this database, the career links database, we have job opportunities to thousands of jobs throughout the state of Maine. What about since we have a merger now with UMaine, do we also have access to their career services?
Actually, all university students within our system of 7 campuses, we would help any of you. All, students are out there taking classes online all the time. So absolutely. We work very close in partnership with the University of Maine. I'm very close to those professionals up there, and they're willing to help any of our students here and vice versa, as well as anyone from any other campuses. I've been working with a student from UMA, helping her get ready because she's getting ready to graduate in June. So I'm working with her because she's local, even though she's an online student. So, but, very important. Oftentimes the Career Center from UMaine will send me down events that are happening, and they've actually set up, what they have done is put a camera system into the Career Center up there, so any of the events that are happening in the UMaine Career Center can be accessed by any of our students, either by Zoom, or we can also broadcast it from Science 102. So, and they have special events. They always let us know, and I tell students about it, but it's a little bit of a poke to have to drive up there. So that's why whenever they can, they try to offer things through Zoom, and students just need to link in to join. So, and for those pre-professionals, we have one on staff at the UMaine Center that help people. If you want to go on to medical school, it's a good connection for you because she has lots of contacts, throughout the medical profession in these professional schools. So.
All right, so that concludes today's show. If Joellen would be so courteous to do the outro.
Well, I want to thank Alondra for, this is our first time that we've actually worked together on air, which is wonderful. And Ann down there, working from the cafe, and for all the students listening today. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Alondra, again, who is a senior, but also working as an intern, for me this semester, and she'll continue next semester. And I'm really excited about that. And for putting me on the spot so that I could share all the exciting things from the Career Center here on campus. And lastly, I want to thank you, all of our listeners, all the students and alumni, and community members too, for joining us. This semester's show, this will complete or conclude our shows for the semester today as you're getting ready to go on break. We'll be back on the air on Thursday, January 30th with a whole new lineup. And we'll have a lot of guests coming in from Machias Savings Bank and DEI and Department of Health and Human Services. A lot of our social service agencies. Bangor Savings Bank will join us. We're hoping to have summer camps and other other summer job opportunities. The Maine Warden Service will be joining us in Acadia National Park next semester, and there'll be a variety of other guests, including you, if you're out there and you've actually gotten a job and you're graduating, or you've got an internship and you'd like to share your experiences with our students. We would love to feature you on our show as well. So I want to thank you all again for listening. Have a great semester break. Good luck next week on your finals, and happy holidays to everyone.